Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Abubakar Audu, has signed a $1 billion memorandum of understanding with Indian-based Rashmi Metallics Group to boost investment in Nigeria's steel sector. A statement signed by the head of Press and Public Relations, Ministry of Steel Development, Salamatu Jibaniya, says the agreement signed in Kolkata on April 14, 2026 is expected to span 3 years and forms part of efforts by the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to attract foreign direct investment under the Renewed Hope agenda. The deal followed the minister's inspection of the Rashmi Metallics steel plant in Kolkata, where he described the facility as a model of industrial efficiency, noting that such innovation is critical to repositioning Nigeria's steel industry for global competitiveness and sustainable growth. And those are the highlights of the news at this time. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Ademola and Victor after this break. Do stay.
Banjul hosts the 17th General Assembly of the AUB, as well as the celebration of 20 years of the Union serving African media. From April 14 to 17, 2026, leaders and experts will gather to exchange their visions, evaluate the progress made, and shape the future of African media. It is also an opportunity for the AUB to raise funds for its foundation against cancer. And to celebrate journalistic excellence, the Grand Awards evening will close the event. Between the flavors of Benachin, the majesty of Act 22, and the rhythms of the Kora and Timba dances. See you in Banjul. African Union of Broadcasting, 20 years serving African media.
Guys, food is ready.
Cook to impress. Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
People, toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Harpic is better than bleach.
NTA Television College Refills JOS, a media hub with the pedigree of training professionals and non-professionals in the field of broadcasting and beyond, invites aspiring broadcasters to register for our short courses for the second quarter of 2026. From 13th April to 10th July 2026, the training will commence as follows: New Technologies, Optic Fiber, IP Technologies, Automation Storage Management and Wireless Technology, Foundation Understanding of Tax Reform and Practical Application of Reform Strategies, Intermediate Presentation Techniques, Administration, a Frontier of Organizational Success, Basic Camera Operation, Audio Engineering Operation and Maintenance, Digital Satellite, Microwave and RF Technologies, AI Marketing, Intermediate Drama Techniques. These courses are designed to equip participants with practical, market-ready skills in a competitive environment. The college also runs diploma and degree courses. For registration details, course schedule and more information, visit our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or call these following numbers: 0803-838-4343, 0806-980-9896. 101.7. NTA TV College, your gateway to media excellence. Announcer Management.
So why do you need Dettol 12-hour protective shield?
Why? Come, let me show you. From my husband's germ-filled journey to work, to his daily interaction, touching where everyone has touched, and the sweaty journey back home. What else can give you all day long protection?
Germs are everywhere, but Dettol's 12-hour protective shield shields your family every day,
Keeping them safe, healthy, happy, and successful.
Dettol, be 100% sure.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, in partnership with the Kaduna State Government, brings the brightest minds to the Nigeria Public Relations Week, Croc City 2026. Theme: Food Security. From policy paper to public plate, the imperatives of public relations. Date: 19th to 25th April 2026. Venue: Umaru Musa Yeredwa Center, Murtala Square, Kaduna. Time: 9 a.m. daily. This is where conversation will inspire change, from agribusiness to food security, and from communication strategy to policy shaping. MPRW 2026. Come and be transformed. Kaduna is ready, waiting for you.
Croc City 2026. Lale, lale.
Announcer Stanley Ogadigo, Director, Public Relations, NIPR.
All right, it's time for newspaper review on Good Morning Nigeria. Stay.
Yes, newspaper reviewer Chukudi Okoli Abuja is here. Chooks, good morning.
Yes, Demola, it's time for another round, and I'm happy I'm here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Victor, how about you?
Well, I'm good.
One day at a time.
And good to see you.
Let's get it.
All right. Let's begin with the blueprint. Of course, the picture story details the president and other dignitaries at the inauguration of the new NRS building. All right. Above that picture story, unveiling of NRS corporate headquarters. Our revenue system will reward enterprise, support growth. That's according to the president. Links reform drive to rising reserves, investor confidence. FG's reforms have led to economic fiscal reset. That's according to Adedeji. Above the nameplate, 2026 UTME. Police deploy extra security at jump centers nationwide. That story is on page 10. And in the news again, court grants El Rufai bail. It's on page 15. In sports, AFN releases 24-man shortlist for World Relay. Details on page 32. To the side pieces, ADC ratifies Mark Aregbesola, others as NWC members. Supreme Court fixes April 22 for hearing in party and PDP crisis. To other stories, Geely market airstrike based on credible intelligence, FG clarifies, says independent probe of civilian casualties underway. And the final set of stories, ships leave Iranian ports in Persian Gulf despite U.S. blockade, is on page 6. Police arrest 33 suspects in 2025 Kwara church attack, page 15. I declined monetary inducement to impeach Makinde or your speaker, page 9. And finally, don't allow defectors take over APC. Yewada tells FCT stakeholders, and you get details on page 7. Now to the leadership. The leadership leads with this story. Amid litigation, internal disputes, Mark-led ADC holds convention. Party chair Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso, Aregbesola, others say Tinubu has failed. It's on page 4. Convention ratifies Mark-led ESCO, expels Nafiu Bala Gombe, Honorable Abejide orders. All right. Above the nameplate, Nigeria's future won't be determined by chance. That's according to the president. and it's on page 4, mandates NRS on trust building accountability. And just beside that story, without removal, petrol subsidy would have taken 72% of 2026 budget. That's according to Adedeji, and the story is on page 21. And below the nameplate, IMF cuts Nigeria's 2026 growth projection to 4.1%. Details on page 7. To the side pieces, Supreme Court to hear PDP, ADC appeals, April 22, page 9. Rata moves against rising street gang clashes in Katsina, page 17. El-Rufai gets bail, court adjourns till April 21, same page 17. Police Trust Fund unveils housing, farming plans for officers. And to the final two, Niger Assembly passes bill to regulate scrap metal business. Details on page 20. And finally, bombings will stop after election victory. That's credited to Akpabio, and it's on page 7. I wonder what that means. Demola.
Yes, thank you, Victor. I have the Guardian newspaper with me here. And just below that nameplate, Jilly airstrike targeted terrorist supply routes, not civilians, says federal government. Details on page 3. Tinubu's reforms pushed Nigeria's revenue to 3.6 trillion naira monthly, says NRS boss. Details of that story is on page 3. ADC on brink of 2027 exclusion as court battles deadline draw near. The details of that major headline story is on page 6. Borno, Benue top NBS records of 3.38 million IDPs across 14 states. JAM, police dismiss safety concern as 2.2 million candidates set for UTME. Details of that story can be found on page 4. El-Rufai gets 200 million naira bail as court imposes gag order in alleged graft trial. Details on page 30. Oyo lawmakers at Jimobi deny impeachment plot against Makinde. Details on page 20, page 5. 2027 option narrows for electorate as PDP, LP, NNPP crisis linger. The rising LPG prices, Middle East crisis threaten Nigeria's cooking gas market. And lastly, IMF downgrade Nigeria's GDP outlook, warns of rising risk. That's on business page 15. Chooks?
Yeah, the downgrading takes it to 4.1, I think, which is still not a bad figure. I mean, it's not something that should cause any panic. Yeah, nothing even close to panic. Because they will tell you, economists please, will tell you that when you're doing about 6%, 7%, China was edging towards that. They said there would be a burst sometime. You still need to keep growth at a level you can manage it. That when it is too high, ask Dr. Okengu and Professor Walaka when they come, okay? That you could actually cause something. That Kissinger said there was going to be a problem in China. That's a wonderful Secretary of State for so many years. He said that rate of growth is not advisable. That's the point I'm trying to make. Let economists explain it better. Now, talking about revenue, or talking about growth, the commissioning of, did they call it Revenue House still? What the president commissioned?
What they call it.
Anyway, whatever it's called, the president is saying that Nigeria's future won't be determined by chance. What I think he's trying to say is you must be sure where the money is going to come from. Source. People are looking towards application. The president says there won't be an application when there's no source. The issue we tend to have with that is that you are beginning to think we're being asked to sacrifice too many things. That is the impression people have. But having studied the situation, the president considers that at a point, an equilibrium will be reached and people will begin to realize the fruits of these reforms. We hope that is how it pans out at the end of the day. Otherwise, people feel that now it's also bring money, government, they tell us, you know, you can't blame them. Now the bombing of Gili Market, you know, somebody said that the former chief of army staff, Buratai, was attacked at that market way back. Oh, you've heard it too, you know?
He even came
that
out,
you think you're buying something from somebody, he's hiding a gun.
He even came out with a press release.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did? I didn't even see that. And the federal government is saying, no, that bombing was carried out on reliable intelligence.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that there has been collateral damage, so to speak. Civilians definitely will be part of, you know, they're actually commiserating with the relatives of the people who died. But the government is saying that we've always told you that that's a bandits market. And caught between Yobe and the Borno states, the place is a meeting point. You then begin to ask, why do we not listen to government advice? The market was closed down prior, way back. But you are going to blame the government too for not enforcing
in 2000
the ban they placed on the market.
In 2008, it was closed.
It was
closed. 5 years ago, it was also closed. So I don't know why they had to open
So
it.
they already knew the antecedents of that place. It's really unfortunate that these things are happening. You know, you have to think life first. That you're going to make a little profit somewhere does not lead you to endangering your life. You shouldn't do that. Life is there.
And now that you are talking about bombing, now the Senate President Godswill Akpabio is saying that bombings will stop after election victory. And I wonder what that means.
You know, as a journalist, I've always felt that this is complaint of politicians. You know, they always have a way of telling us that this is what is responsible for this.
No, it's not only politicians.
But when you track back, you find out there's a pattern that makes you agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, because, you know...
Did you hear Yakasai and...
said it
just
2 days ago.
Said, oh, that one is a regular thing.
2 days ago.
That people want to give the government a mandate.
What
one of the generals said it too.
Yes.
I was watching.
Yes.
So it happens prior to every election.
You spill blood because you want to give maybe your opponent a bad name. Let's not go beyond that so that it doesn't seem as if we're indicting any, you know. But the point I'm making is life is too precious to be subjected to that kind of thing. If that truly is what happens. They said it during Jonathan's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then who are we as a people? What sort of people are we?
Even during the last election, the same thing happened.
I said that.
It's like a recurrence.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about?
No, it doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be that way. The ADC has held its convention, as it were, and we now want to see how they go through the court processes that are in motion. As we would always say as journalists, we would like them to resolve their problems so that Demola and Chukwudi will have a fairly wide range of choice on the election day, so that when we call Nigeria democracy, it answers the name democracy. Let them sort out their things. I'm one of those. I hope I'm not being harsh. I'm one of those who feel that the ADC may not have gone about tidying his own house. But it's never late to mend, according to the Englishman. They still can bring all the warring factions and let the party have one soul. That's not terribly, difficult. If only the party has a philosophy, if only they agreed on a development path for the people. The problem with Nigerian politics is that half of the politicians, please, not necessarily ADC, are there for their own stomach infrastructure. So having that cohesion based on what we believe as a political party.
It's their profession, so they are there for their stomach.
But politics is not supposed to be a profession. That's the danger.
Wow.
Now,
Politics is not supposed to be a profession.
Before we let you go, Chukwudi, 2026 UTME, police deploy extra security at jam centers nationwide. And that leaves me wondering, because when we wrote jam, we didn't have that insecurity.
No. They are saying that because of the theater of violence people have created in many places.
Especially in
the areas where the insurgency is happening are also part of what they're talking about. So they need to tell you that, they need to reassure.
Yeah, people.
But Victor, I've not come here to frighten anybody. If I were going to write an exam and I'm in a place like Bonu, I don't know how much concentration, because I'll be doing something like this. You understand? Well, if they can get it to work, fine. Otherwise, please let them not endanger people's lives. Life first. Life, if it's possible, conduct an exam for them elsewhere and arrange for them to go and write that exam. It's not impossible.
To safer
but
places.
Please let them not be where their lives could be in danger. It's very important we think about our fellow.
All right, so let's get you out of here safely too, to your rest.
I need to go home early, sleep, so that I'll watch Arsenal beat Sporting a second time.
All right, many thanks for today.
Okay, guys.
Tomorrow is another day.
Thank you so much.
And the program continues after this break. Please do stay with us.
People, toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively, but Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs. Oh, wow. You can now see that Harpic is better than bleach.
The counsel of our fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
TerraQ, now available in crayfish. TerraQ, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
So why do you need Dettol 12-hour protective shield?
Why? Come, let me show you. From my husband's germ-filled journey to work, till his daily interaction, touching where everyone has touched, and the sweaty journey back home. What else can give you all day long protection?
Germs are everywhere, but Dettol's 12-hour protective shield shields your family every day,
Keeping them safe, healthy, happy, and successful.
Dettol, be 100% sure.
Godrich Air Pocket? Wow!
With Power Gel technology, keeps the bathroom fresh for up to 30 days. Godrich Air Pocket. Bye-bye bad smell. Hello sweet fragrance.
Let's believe in ourselves. Let's have the right attitude. We've got all it takes to get there. Let's look inwards and revive all our infrastructures and galvanize our human and material resources. Nigerians, believe in yourselves. Believe we can succeed. Nigeria, believe.
Powered by National Orientation Agency.
NTA Television College Refill Jos, a media hub with the pedigree of training professionals and non-professionals in the field of broadcasting and beyond, invites aspiring broadcasters to register for our short courses for the second quarter of 2026. From 13th April to 10th July 2026, the training will commence as follows. New technologies, optic fiber, IP technologies, automation storage management and wireless technology. Foundation understanding of tax reform and practical application of reform strategies. Intermediate presentation techniques. Administration, a frontier of organizational success. Basic camera operation, audio engineering operation and maintenance, digital satellite, microwave and RF technologies, AI marketing, intermediate drama techniques. These courses are designed to equip participants with practical, market-ready skills in a competitive environment. The college also runs diploma and degree courses. For registration details, course schedule and more information, visit our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or call these following numbers: 0803-838-4343, 0806-980-9897. NTA TV College, your gateway to media excellence. Announcer Management.
All right, this is Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. To begin our conversation, which is focused on juvenile delinquency and national security, here's a background report put together by correspondent Ibrahim Bello Gunda.
Juvenile delinquency is a critical concern in Nigeria, posing a growing threat to national security. This challenge is reflected in the increasing involvement of young people in violent crimes such as banditry, kidnapping, cultism, and other forms of social unrest. At its core, juvenile delinquency is driven by a combination of socioeconomic and environmental factors. These include poverty, broken homes, inadequate access to education, peer pressure, substance abuse, and the erosion of societal values. The rising youth population, if not properly engaged, further compounds to the problem, creating a pool of vulnerable individuals susceptible to criminal influences. The impact of juvenile delinquency extends beyond individual misconduct to broader security implications. It contributes to increased violence crime rates, social dislocation, and weakened community structures. Also evident is negative environmental and peer influence with heightened threats to national stability and cohesion. The breakdown of traditional value systems and community support network has reduced the social control that once guided youth behavior. Although Nigeria has established institutional mechanisms to address juvenile offenses, including juvenile court, bostel centers, approved schools, and remand homes. However, these systems face significant challenges such as inadequate infrastructure, understaffing, and poor funding. In many cases, child offenders are detained alongside adults, a practice that not only violates their rights but also increases the likelihood of recidivism and exposure to hardened criminal behavior. Addressing juvenile delinquency requires urgent and coordinated reforms, strengthening rehabilitation systems, improving access to quality education, enhancing parental responsibility, and investing in youth development programs, which are essential steps towards mitigating these growing threats. How does juvenile delinquency threaten national security in Nigeria? What preventive strategies can effectively reduce youth involvement in crime? And what long-term approaches can ensure sustainable youth development and social stability? These and more are some of the questions guests on Good Morning Nigeria will find answers to as we discuss juvenile delinquency and national security.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim, for that background report and for those questions that you have thrown up. And those are some of the issues that we are going to trash in today's conversation. Now, joining us here to discuss the juvenile delinquency and national security, we have in the studio Dr. Francis Enabore, MNI. He's the Controller of Corrections Service, retired, and former National Public Relations Officer, Nigeria Correctional Service. Dr. Enabore, it's good to have you join us for this discussion.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right.
Good morning, everyone.
Now, we are seeing many young people involved in crimes. especially in recent times. It wasn't so before. What can we attribute this to?
Yes, thank you very much. You can see from the background you presented, so many reasons can be attributed to the worsening juvenile delinquency that we are beginning to experience in Nigeria. Putting it in the proper context, juvenile delinquency is behavior you may consider to be improper because of the age of those that are carrying out such behavior. It could be smoking, drinking, and ordinarily when you see an adult in a beer parlor, for instance, taking a bottle of beer and a stick of cigarette, you won't attach anything wrong to it. But it will strike the odd chord in you if you see a 16-year-old boy sitting in the beer parlor and smoking and drinking. And it's a pointer to the fact that this child may grow up and toe the line of criminality. Yes, there are literatures here and there that adult, children normally outgrow some of these challenges. But we also have copious literature presenting very heinous crimes being perpetrated by those that toe this fault line right from their infancy. And to answer your question directly as to what
is
probable causative factors are, the first and most significant is dysfunctional family system. You know, the family is the first organ or agency, if you like, of social control. The child is born into a family, the father, the mother. But along the line, if the system gets disorganized, either due to death of one or two of the parents, or the entire system is affected due to communal, clashes that will render the children destitute, what you get is delinquency. Peer pressure is also there. Dysfunctional educational system is there. Lack of mentorship, as it used to be those days, is also there. You know, most societies are becoming cosmopolitan in nature. It's everyone to himself, God for all. Like you pointed out that it wasn't the case in the past. Yes, an adult in a community, then saw himself as a father or mother, as it were, to every child around. You owe it a moral duty to ensure that children that are of school age, when schools are in session, you don't see any of them in the street. You don't need to wait for the parents to do that. We had that communal way of living. But all that have disappeared. Perhaps I don't think any adult will now see a child on the street and begin to ask, why are you not in school? Otherwise, the parents come around and get you arrested. So there are so many things that are now coming together. The free availability of hard drugs, mind-compromising substances are there, and you now have multiple, types that people can easily access. Not even the costly ones. There are some they concord together, they go to gutter, they use the white part of lizard feces. There are so many things they put together, they grind and they take. It's becoming very concerning because of the implication it has on the national security system. We are already having more than enough security troubles that we all sit, on the fence and wait for the feeder group, like I used to, I always refer to these juvenile offenders. These are the feeder groups to the higher criminal gangs. If we talk about security management, for instance, all eyes will be focused on those people that can hijack vehicles, those ones that armed robbers that can jump over the fence, that can kidnap. That would be the immediate attention of everybody. As good as that will be, if you don't address the feeder group, you are wasting your time. You are just like a man laboring to clean downstream, whereas the pollutants are upstream. So whatever you do downstream, trying to correct, you are just wasting your time. I would have expected that we pay even more attention to addressing juvenile delinquency. Because if you reduce the reduce the population of the feeder group, and you are now controlling, managing the higher level of criminals, then you will be getting some results.
Before we delve into addressing the challenges, some of the challenges, what does the poverty and unemployment play in pushing young people into delinquency?
Yes, you can't, that is an incontrovertible fact, that poverty, unemployment can easily be push factors, because if
and also we look at the role of social media as well.
Of course, I was coming to that. Because outside dysfunctional family system, in my order of arranging causative factors, I pick dysfunctional family system. The next is the social media, the role of the social media. Everybody has access to social media now. Like I was talking about the different types of mind-altering substances that they take. Sometimes they get this thing from social media. And not only that, sometimes when we role play when we dramatize certain things in the media, and we send it out, without paying adequate attention to censoring and putting at the back of our mind those that will have access to it and how it will affect their life. Children pick this thing up, and they run with it. We saw a couple of years back how a boy was accused of killing the girlfriend, cutting off the head, that he wanted to go and do money ritual.
The killer boy.
And there is another one not too far back that sat on the head of a little boy that he just caught, and he was going to make money. Some of these things they harvest from what they see on the street. Because at that level, they are most of them are not able to process and know that these things are just they are just being dramatized. They may not actually be real. They don't have the capacity of asking themselves, the old man that says you should bring this thing that he's going to make you rich, why can't he make himself rich?
He doesn't like money.
He doesn't like money. You meet him in the dirty, squalid environment, and he's thinking of making you rich. These are things that children harvest. And on the poverty, the unemployment, this is obvious when what you need is not available, and there are societal expectations. You either get it through the legitimate means, or you cut corners to getting it, or what you want to get, or what you want to see at the end of the day is you are able to get it. So these are some of the
what about the effect of peer pressure?
Peer pressure is there. Like we saw in what the background, you saw how groups came together. They are smoking, they are enjoying in the court themselves. There are multiple factors that are responsible. And I know that these factors are known, to many Nigerians. But I am more concerned about how to address these issues. Because what bleeds my heart is the way sometimes we look defeated. As if we have no alternative, as if we have no solution.
If we have
it is not true.
If we have to address it, from your experience, help us understand the most common pathways that lead young people into crime.
Well, if you child developmental, psychologists will tell you that the heart of the mind of a child is a tabula rasa. It's a plain slate. It's whatever you imprint that stays. That tells you that both nature and nurture come together to determine who an individual becomes in life. So if we follow that trend, we'll go back to a functional family system, where you have a functional family system right from conception. The mindset, the psychology of the family, right from conception to birth, the care, support system available, the environment that the child is born into. All these will help to guide and protect the child, because the child, as he's growing up, is adventurous. The child wants to test everything. To an adolescent, everything is possible, except the one you are able to imprint in him that, look, if you do this, this is the consequence. But when that support system is missing, when that psychosocial guidance support is missing in the life of a child, definitely the child will pick whatever experience he wants to exhibit from the gutters.
So what are the most common crimes that young people indulge in?
You have seen substance abuse, theft. Some of them have gone beyond that now to rape, to courtesy, extension of that is what we just talked about, killing people, thinking that you are going to get rich quick, rituals, and all of that. So these are, and of course, the most now very disturbing is the fact that majority of them are finding their ways into insurgency. They are now being used as other errand boys or even weapon-carrying children, child soldier, being recruited by non-state actors.
So what makes them more attractive to criminals that are recruiting them now?
Yes. When all these positive environmental conditions are missing. Life does not exist in vacuum. Life forbids vacuum. If what is positive is missing in the life of the child, then a group will bring in the ones that are negative. For instance, if a child is rendered destitute due to communal disturbances, and the child is free roaming on the street, the child is already vulnerable to be used by any negative influencer. So, and the concerning aspect is that when we fail to address the issue as it is, when the mind of the individual is still amenable to correction, and you allow the child to grow and begin to build invincibility in his mind, it becomes 10 times difficult to control and manage. Nigeria, like I said, we are not stranded. We have beautiful alternatives. We have bolster training institutions. Sometimes you see some private individuals having what they call rehabilitation home. You need to go there and see the atrocities they perpetrate on the children in the name of rehabilitation. Some will go spiritual, They want to exorcise the demon in them. They beat the hell out of them, chain them to all manner of things. Give them horrible concussion, you stab them.
Let's before we go into the correctional side, let's look at the early exposure, the effect of the early exposure of minors into violence. Does the violence create a pipeline for future insurgency or militancy?
Of course, yes. There's no doubt about that. A child that grew up and he sees people being slaughtered like rams. He sees people being kidnapped, chained, and beaten like common criminals. You are already imprinting in the child the life of violence. The child has not seen any better. So you are already diminishing the value of life in the mind of the child. And when it becomes his turn to do similar thing, he will do it with joy. You saw the other 15-year-old boy that was confessing on the I think some stations carried it, being an errand boy to Boko Haram. Look at the way he was saying it, as if he was narrating an achievement. Yes, this. We went to this. We were asked to go and do this. No remorse. There is completely no remorse. For him, well, I was sent on an errand, and some people accosted me. Okay, let me tell them what happened. To him, he has not attached any element of error or crime to what he has done. And that is the product of early exposure of violence.
Let's measure this. Let's attempt to measure it from your experience in service. How significant is the number of young people in correctional facilities today?
Yes, it's quite significant.
Any sense of percentage?
Yes. Let me contextualize it. We have, when you say young persons, if you look at the definition of young persons, if your definition is below 20, the figure you are going to get in correctional service will be huge.
Really?
Sure, will be huge. And note that age of criminal liability in Nigeria is that you can be held accountable as accountability is 18. That's where you can be received. Where you can be legally admitted into custody is 18. That is, if you commit any crime and it is established that you are
convicted,
whether convicted or
awaiting
trial. If it is established that your age is 18 and above, you can be legally admitted into the custodial center. But if you are between 16, if your age is 16
or below 18, for instance,
below 18, you are admitted to Boster Training Institution. For Boster, we get we don't call them inmates, we call them students. We get students from 3 sources. One, those that are in conflict with the law. Those ones, maybe caught stealing, raping, maiming, and all of that. Those ones are already in conflict with the law. They are processed and taken to, because of their age, you take them to Boster. The second source is those that exhibit behavior beyond the parental control. If the parents are not, they feel they can no longer control the behavior of the child, they, on their own volition, they approach juvenile court and they are sent to juvenile correctional center. The third source is those the system regard as vulnerable. They have not committed any crime. If you see a child, maybe 15, 16, 17, sleeping under the bridge or destitute, you know that that child is vulnerable. The child can either be molested or recruited into criminal gangs. So in the interest of the child, you take them out of the street and then take them to correctional center.
So, okay, do you want to conclude your thought? Because I want to follow up with a question.
Okay, I was just going to say that when you have these individuals in custody, then you now begin to profile them based on what brought them, and then know what treatment regime to administer to them.
So how does the treatment now, let's go to the treatment now, how does handling juvenile offenders, how does it differs from handling criminals?
Okay, yeah, completely different. Different in the sense that the idea behind juvenile correctional center is the student-centered interest. The juvenile themselves, it is in their own interest to correct them, rehabilitate them. If you look at the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019, section 35 sub 2, there clearly states that the Nigerian Correctional Service shall establish separate male and female postal institutions in each of the states of in each state of Nigeria, and the purpose shall be for the rehabilitation of the juveniles. The focus there, that's why in concept it is just, apart from the security features that will be put in place there, is just a shade different from the typical boarding schools, secondary school boarding houses you find everywhere, where you put the children there and all eyes will be on them, how they grow, how they interact, how you introduce them into life skills, how you build them up, whether through the formal educational path or skillful development. So it's all packed together to ensure that the child comes out to be an asset to himself and to the nation. Whereas for adult offenders, that one's a different ballgame. The man is already set, he's already a self-made man. So the number one, you put him there to keep him out of circulation so that the socio-economic environment can thrive. You know, he's a menace to the society as adjudged. So you need to keep him where he will no longer disturb the normal life of the society, number one. Then number two,
then seek to reform him.
Number two, you need to also begin to think of how you are going to, you will return him to the society, not to continue in that criminal pathway. Then you talk about element of rehabilitation, reformation, psychosocial support, aftercare, management, and all of that, all to build to reconstruct his life again. Why I said the two scenarios are different is that it is much harder to address the adult criminal, to think of changing the adult criminal than the juvenile.
Because they are formed in their ways.
They are already formed in their own ways. So these are.
So what happens when someone, a student in the Boston Center, clocks 18, for instance?
Yeah, when you are there, when you are taking between 16 to 21.
Oh,
It's
okay.
between 16 to
And then you
21.
outgrow 21, what happens?
No, before you outgrow 21, you would have been released because the maximum is 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Although you can be released before that time based on recommendation if or your parents, because when juveniles are taken to Bosta institution, there is this effort that is made to continue to reconnect the child with the family. So there is always that constant family relationship. If the parents within that period and they have seen some level of response, they can apply for the child to be released, and based on the approval of the Honorable Minister, the child is
if the person came in at 20, you have 3 years, you don't change, you get to 21, maybe 22, what happens?
No, you see, if you said the person came in as
at 20,
no,
or even 21.
You can't come in at 20. You can't come in. I said you can only come in between 16. If you come in, if you are admitted when you are below 18.
Oh, okay.
So you can, once you are already above 18, you go to
the other one for senior
adult,
so
you can't come in at 20.
Earlier on, you talked about the law. I mean, and so let's look at the issue of the law, policy, and institutions now. How effective is the Child Right Act and Nigeria's juvenile justice system at deterrence and rehabilitation? How effective?
Oh, fantastic. You see, these are Nigeria has never lacked robust legal documents to direct how these institutions or these issues should be managed. The Child Right Act of 2003 is robustly presented. If you look at the content, it's all in the interest of the child and overall interest of the society. The unfortunate thing is the response of different agencies and tiers of government to these instruments. That's what has been the problem. Look at the like I was saying, the Nigerian Correctional Service Act, the ones that provide that the NCOS shall establish Bosta institution in all states of the Federation. And by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, alteration, the fifth alteration, number 15, that unbundled the Nigerian Correctional Service. That is delisting, if you like, from being an exclusive, being in the exclusive list to a concurrent list.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, has any sub-national thought about it, the possibility of having these institutions in their states? Apart from those states, Anambra State, Lagos State, and one or two other states. Literally every other state governments have been sleeping over it. When we all saw what happened
those
in the
states that you mentioned, have they established?
No. Not that they. At least you can hear feelers that they are in the process. Some are they are
talking about it.
They are talking about it. They are domesticating the provision to suit their respective environment. But all of us are sleeping. Look at what I regard as an embarrassing situation. I mean, the Calabar Scolombo boys.
Okay.
The Scolombo boys and La Casera girls in Calabar. These are street children rendered destitute for no fault of theirs. Instead of looking at the provisions in our law and thinking of positive and appreciable way of addressing the issue, they constituted a task force, Scolombo task force, or whatever the name is, to clean the streets of Colombo boys and Lakasara girls. And what did those officials of the task force do? They went around the street, captured the children, tied them in chain, they used twine to tie their hands and their legs, and with the leader of the group with cutlass by his side. We saw it on the social media. And you could see the frustration in the face of that man that was carrying out that act. It's as if he's trying, he doesn't know what to do. And then I now read a post trying to support that act, that, oh, you don't know what these Colombo boys are up to. They actually showed a video clip of just some seconds of it, how those boys were accused of running after a female on the street, grab their bodies and then snatch their purse, snatch their whatever. Yes, we know. But is that the best way to approach the issue? Why has the governor not thought about establishing bolster training institution in his state? Where these children can be gathered and given better orientation, care, support, reformation. Why the person that is leading that group, why has he not approached the governor to say, Your Excellency, if you can just build this, what is the population of Colombo boys and Lakasara girls in Cross River State? That they cannot build something just a little shade to take them in and give them better care. You see, when you do that, when you think you can tie them, you harden them. And when they come out vexatious. So these are the issues that keep, bothering me. That we are just acting as if there is no alternative.
Would you say that the police, courts, correctional centers have the enough training and facilities to deal with juvenile without hardening them?
That the present correctional...
Yes, the police, the courts, the correctional centers. Do they have enough facilities and training, to correct, to deal with the juveniles without hardening them?
Yes, we can never have enough. You understand? It's all work in progress. Recall that the job of the police and indeed other arresting agencies is to ensure that those acting outside the law are taken off the street and presented to the court for determination. And the job of the court is to process and send them to appropriate institutions where they can further be taken care of. Whereas the job of the correctional center is to receive those that have been legally sent to you. You profile them based on their needs and risk and needs assessment. You assess them, and then you begin to do sorting and give each group the type of treatment they require. So the entire process requires regular training, update of knowledge, because the crime is dynamic
as well.
And improved facilities, because it's not enough. Yes, thank you very much. I was going to mention that also. It's not enough to say you have postal training institutions, you just have the walls there, then you throw the children there. You further compound the problem. Like some people will say that this postal training institution you are talking about, there are isolated cases of people leaving that place and becoming hardened. Yes, you may not get 100%, but it still calls for the attention of the sponsoring authority agencies, including the subnationals, to pay attention. And in any case, does it look? Do we see ourselves as being serious about addressing juvenile delinquency? Do we even understand the implication? If in Nigeria we have just 3 functional booster institutions across the country, with the 4th one coming up in the Federal Capital Territory. Does it show any sign of seriousness? Look, if we know first, because if you don't know the type of ailment you are suffering from and the implications of having such ailment, you may not be interested in addressing it. If you feel that you are just having small swelling around your one part of your body, and you think you can be taking paracetamol, right, not knowing that you are not taking not knowing that it's actually a cancerous boil. Then you may be joking with paracetamol and some other disease.
All right.
It becomes incurable. So if we can process juvenile delinquency and know the far-reaching implication on our security system, we will know that before building additional airports, before establishing more farms, before talking of economic expansion in states and the federal at the federal level at large, we need to address those groups that will pollute and make these institutions
difficult to work. All right. Let's give you a little break because we have messages that have come in, and we encourage you to send in more. The number is displayed on your screen, but we already have messages that we can take. Let me start with this one from Linus from Lagos. He said, "Good morning, all in the studio. The hallmark of juvenile delinquency regrettably started from immediate family, because some parents are not helping matters in training their children in good behavior. Some parents need parenting themselves." All right, that's from Linus in Lagos. And this other one is from Wale Olanikmeku in Lagos too. "Good morning in the house. Any nation that fails to care for its teeming youth is mortgaging the future of the nation. What is the government doing to educate Nigerians?" And from Nandom Wiep in Jos, "The high rate of crimes committed by individuals under 30 indicates that youth are increasingly involved in threatening behaviors that destabilize societal peace. The Nigerian juvenile justice system is often criticized for being punitive rather than rehabilitative, with children sometimes detained with adults, which exacerbates antisocial behavior rather than correcting it. What is the biggest problem with the juvenile justice system?" Okay, we'll get to that shortly. And finally, from here, "Good morning to you all in the studio. Drug abuse is very common in Maiduguri, in Maidugunari Junction area in Maiduguri, okay, despite the state government's efforts by constituting a special unit called Anti-Social Vices Response Team to curb the menace. Young, old, married, single, male and female patronize this joint. We need to address this menace urgently." Ademola, you have someone you want to respond to?
Let him respond so that I can now...
Fantastic. Most of the posts have just supported what we have been talking about, that dysfunctional family system, for instance, is a big issue. And somebody also wrote that the government is not deliberate enough. You are not funding the institutions you have established, enough for them to carry out their responsibility. I am particularly interested in one of the posts that talked about detaining juvenile offenders
with adults.
You see, I just mentioned that in Nigeria, we have 3 booster training institutions.
Across the country.
Across the country. One in Kaduna, the other one is in Ilorin, and then the third one at Belkota. And then, of course, recently we are now having one coming up.
It's not ready, right?
I think they've taken in some students in Gogolada here in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, I ask you, if a child in Calabar just as we saw those Skolombo boys.
Skolombo boys and Lakasera girls.
And Lakasera girls. How do you treat them if you present them before a trial judge? Where do you want him to take them? To his house? Or to fly them to Kaduna or Ilori or Abeokuta? This is also I said we don't look serious in addressing this critical issue. So if you, when I was in service, there was this case of a 12-year-old child that was accused of killing the uncle or so. Yes. So the child was taken to one of the custodial centers. And of course, the officer in charge rejected that we have our rules. We can't admit this child. The judge asked him whether he wants the child to go to his house or where. That if he doesn't accept the child, he will charge him for contempt of court. We have our rules, quite all right. But it became a very messy issue to handle. And the judge was frustrated because there is no bolster training institution in that environment to take the child. And recall that the function of custodial centers is not only to protect the society from criminals. It is also established to protect the accused person from a vengeful society. Just imagine what would have happened if the judge says, okay, there are no bolster training institutions around this place. The adult custodial centers, you can't go there because of your age. Okay, just go, make sure you come back next week. Go find your, stay with some of your friends or your mother or this. You think that child will live to see the following day? These are the issues that we need to be serious, at least in addressing security issues in Nigeria. Let us not do this fire brigade approach. When it happens, we are rushing to catch the adults. What about the feeder group?
So there is need for us to attach some seriousness into fighting this cankerworm.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take this comment and questions from some of our viewers. This one is from Salisu Tale from Kano. He said, "Good morning, Nigeria. Juvenile issue is not just given much needed attention in Nigeria. It is a serious security threat in this country." Now, Akeju Olagbaju says, "I plead that this topic is repeated to also allow expert sociologists to contribute. The juvenile delinquency must be treated as social disease, and in my opinion, Nigeria Correctional can only play a narrow role. The responsibility must be placed on local government to develop their social welfare to address the concerns." To what extent, that's from Elagbaju. Now, this from Mohammed Isa O. Kotanfe from Kogi State. He said, to what extent does the rising rate of juvenile delinquency in Nigeria pose a threat to national security? And what immediate interventions can government agencies adopt to address this issue? 1. How can families, schools, and law enforcement agencies collaborate effectively to prevent juvenile delinquency from evolving into organized crime and insecurity in the country?
Yeah, thank you very much. The first question is obvious. We have stressed that you can't dispute the fact that the unaddressed juvenile delinquency, goes further to fuel the general insecurity we are seeing in the country, because they are always they are just available tools that you can pick and then use. The other one is talking about
the issue of juvenile delinquency in Nigeria posing a threat to national security.
Yes, that's what there's a second question attached to.
Also, how families, schools, and law enforcement agencies can collaborate.
Fantastic. families, yes, there are some, just like we talked about, dysfunctional family systems. The government can support family cohesion by providing enabling environment for to strengthen job security. Because if
Dr.
the jobs
Nobere,
are there,
can I put you on hold for a moment, just so that I welcome? I understand that we have another guest joining us, so let me welcome Professor Ehiz Odije Okpataku, a behavioral change and regimental effectiveness consultant, who is joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Prof. Prof, good morning. Can you hear me? It appears she can't hear me. Please carry on. We'll get back to Prof.
Yes, I was talking about providing kind of family support system that I know the federal government through the different programs under poverty alleviation is trying to address that. We are just hoping that it's robust enough to at least provide the very basics for families to be able to minister to the needs of children that they have. Yes, the school environment is very important. We also saw some time ago where they were talking about bullying, and they showed some very nauseating clips of children being molested in schools and all of that. That shouldn't be. The school environment should be accommodating, should be welcoming, should be comforting and homely enough to attract children. If you now turn it to an environment where children feel threatened anytime they enter that place, what they do is, if I am to stay this place and keep my head on my shoulders, I have to follow this gang. And they, of course, we all know what school bullying is. They threaten that if you don't join us, we do this and that, and easily they easily slip into that. So if we can address the school environment properly.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nobere. I understand that Professor Odije Okpataku can hear us better now. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
All right. Now, from a behavioral perspective, what would you say are the earliest indicators that a child is likely to drift into crime?
Some of the indicators that a child is likely to enter into the world of crime. Number one, neglect. Number two, signs of sociopathy. Children who are cruel to others. Number three, children who are very, very insecure. So, for example, to fit in, to want to belong, and there's a very deep, unsettling level of low self-esteem. The child will want to do anything or want to prove anything that they can be heard and they can belong and they can do all sorts of things. Those are often the sort of children that during initiation ceremonies, if they say slap somebody, they might break the person's head, just to want to overcompensate. Children with maybe some obvious deformities or some marks or some things that they feel make them to be looked down on in society. Poverty, too, can also be an indicator. Children from very poor backgrounds, often overpopulated family settings, neglected children, sometimes are often prone to join crime. Because when we talk about crime can take various forms. We have your e-crime, online crime, so people doing what you call Yahoo and choosing MAGA. And then we have the offline, people who go into petty stealing, kidnapping, blackmailing, robbery, both armed and unarmed robbery, extortion, even rape. Yes, because oftentimes people like to think of rape as just a sexual crime, but often it's a domination tactic. So when you put all of these things together, the indicators are higher. For example, we have children moving up and down in the north, and they have no address. They are often gathered together in large numbers with a teacher. It is not far-fetched when such children are neglected, not properly fed, have to go out with their plate on a daily basis. Not all, but a few might be tempted. If you leave maybe a pot of soup unguarded, they want to pick that. Or you have your chicken unattended to, they might want to pick that. Or there's a shirt on a line and the child is in rags, they might want to pick that. So socioeconomic factors are there. Family dynamics are there. The child's state of mind is also there. Like I said, children with low self-esteem, and then children given to sociopathy and psychopathy.
Although Nigeria has...
I guess we pause here for a break, just so that when we return, we can continue this conversation. Please stay with us. Good morning, Nigeria. We'll be right back.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, in partnership with the Kaduna State government, brings the brightest minds to the Nigeria Public Relations Week, Croc City 2026. Theme: Food Security. From policy paper to public plate, the imperatives of public relations. Date: 19th to 25th April 2026. Venue: Umaru Musa Yeredwa Center, Murtala Square, Kaduna. Time: 9 a.m. daily. This is where conversation will inspire change, from agribusiness to food security, and from communication strategy to policy shaping. MPRW 2026. Come and be transformed. Kaduna is ready, waiting for you.
Croc City 2026. Lale, lale.
Announcer: Stanley Ogadigo. Director, Public Relations, NIPR.
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Give more strength to your hair with Mega Growth Leave-In Straightener. It's infused with nourishing oils and conditioning proteins, so you can say goodbye to hair breakage. Wow! Mega Growth Leave-In Straightener.
The counsel of our fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
You have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools, and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks, and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks, and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. State category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
All right, many thanks for staying with us. Of course, we've been watching Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA, where we have been discussing juvenile delinquency and its implications for national security. Now, I understand we have a third guest joining us on this conversation. So let me introduce from Lagos, Betty Abba, founder of See Hope Nigeria, Women and Children's Rights Advocates. She joins us via Zoom from Lagos. A pleasure to have you join us on Good Morning Nigeria.
Very much. Thank you. Okay. My pleasure.
All right, you're welcome, madam. We have looked at the role, the family breakdown, poverty, unemployment, I mean, the social implication, all these play in pushing the young people into delinquency. Let's look at the act now, since you are into behavioral change and regimental, since you are into women and children's rights advocates. Now, tell us, how effective is the Child Right Act and Nigeria's juvenile justice system?
Thank you very much. I would say that just like many of the laws and the acts and the policies that we have, that we've not fully activated the Child Rights Act in Nigeria, especially with regards to juvenile delinquency, and much more the fact that people are not really enlightened as to how to approach juvenile delinquency. So the lack of awareness, much more than anything else, prevents effective restoration, effective rehabilitation, effective reintegration of children who are falling out of line, children who have committed one crime or the other. So we are much more into condemnation, stigmatization, and punishment. And in the long run, over the years, tested around the world, that kind of approach worsens the situation. So I think much more than anything else, we need to create more awareness about how people should approach juvenile delinquency. You see a child who is in conflict with the law, who has committed the crime, and the immediate action, immediate reflex action is to condemn, stigmatize, and shove that child away from the system, from the society. And in the long run, I mean, it doesn't help, because if that child is dumped in the juvenile delinquency prison, and if those criminal traces are not dealt with, the person even becomes an agent of much more criminality. The child can influence more people. So we should have a system. We should have a national attitude, a national policy, or an attitude much more where we approach juvenile delinquency with an understanding that children who fall out of line, children who are in conflict with the law, are basically reflecting their the social upbringing. The environment in which they grow up is a reflection of the environment. And what can we do to ensure that that child is reintegrated, that child is brought into line again? Because we see people in the US who are in prison, who are falling out of line. You see them becoming gospel artists, you see them becoming motivational speakers. You see them, someone like Obama, who used to be a junkie, becoming president. So we should have a more embracive approach of embracing these children, of ensuring that they are rehabilitated, ensuring that they are given the impression that they can be helped, they can be embraced back into the system, they can live their childhood in innocence again. So that kind of approach is very, very important. But what we see most of the time, a child commits a crime and the entire society is against the person. So the person feels, okay, I've been ostracized. People have given up on me, and so I can only get worse. So we need more awareness in schools, in communities, in religious settings, where children, for instance, who are restless, are demonized. We say these ones are demon possessed because they are not like the normal children. They are abnormal. And some of those children are even beaten to death in some of the religious centers. They are caned until they die. I've had at least an instance in my childhood when one of my friends was caned to death because she was just hyperactive. And so we need to create more awareness for us to have a more, and then apart from the community level, even in policy setting, for us to have laws that are more embracing, have laws that have approach that tilt more to restorative justice, to rehabilitation of children who are falling out of line. I think that is very, very important.
Just to follow up to what you say, are you suggesting that we should have like a database or early warning system for risk at youth? And if we should do that, what would it look like?
I think this will have will ensure bringing in approaching this issue. We need to have to involve all the stakeholders in the educational setup, at community level, at religious level, and then ensure that we have policies, not just database. We have policies guiding these things, and it may even involve having a review of the Child's Rights Act. Is it child-friendly enough? Is it dynamic enough? Is it up to date with what's happening around the world? I think that's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Betty Abba. Let me quickly get back to Prof. And Prof, if you listen to Betty, you heard her talk about at-risk youths. And I'm asking, are there practical behavioral models that exist aimed at redirecting at-risk youths before they slip into criminality?
The truth of the matter is that Nigeria has lost a lot of the limiting or preventative factors that we would normally use to identify, help, support at-risk youths. I'll give you an example. In those days, we had book clubs, we had libraries, we had proper guardians, counselors who had passion for their jobs, and they were in all the schools. So they were able to look at children as individuals and not a collective group of numbers. Nowadays, we are running a conveyor belt education system where at the end, if you can score the highest score in JAMB or whatever external examinations, then you are considered a trophy for the school. Before then, the children's emotional and mental needs are not properly addressed. Our challenge in this society is that a lot of people proudly move up and down with a lot of ignorance. People do not understand that there are genetic links to mental illness in some families. People do not understand the effect of drugs. Considering that 35 years and below, so from the age of 36 and below, is over 70% of our Nigerian population. We keep talking about youth being the future. There is very, very little support for the young person growing up, apart from the family. In our society, a child can open his computer and be completely radicalized into all sorts of perverse, criminal, atrocious behavior. Considering also that even the institutions that have been set up to censor videos, music videos, and things that we watch through the mass media, I don't understand what's happening nowadays, where you would have a music video come up and somebody is glorifying using swear words, the person is rapping suspicious items that we know are possibly drugs. So we glorify the wrong things. Materialism is seen as the end state or the goal. So the young man grows up or the young lady grows up with a very, very perverted or very wrong sense of what it means to be an adult. Role models in those days, we used to have seniors, prefects, who were seen as bastions of propriety and were seen as, guardians. So at different levels, your mother was there, your father would supply some support. Our family system has been decimated. Parents are running after Gary, as it were. So, and people are not telling themselves the truth. I cannot afford, not financially now, maybe mentally, materially, or emotionally, to have 2 or more than 2 children, but they go ahead and have 4, 5, 6. We have parents who have mental issues now. I'll give you a story. There was this lady in Lagos a few years ago who drowned her daughter in a bucket of water, her little daughter. So we even have parents themselves who are not mentally fit to have children, but feel entitled to having children. What systems have we put in place? Nigeria has only 8 or 9 neuropsychiatric hospitals. Every day we have brain drain. People are leaving the country. In fact, I've had people who have told me, what are you still doing in Nigeria? So you have the health system, the mental support system, the psychosocial support system that right from school, right from the family, has fallen to smithereens. And nobody's asking the right questions of how we can, put replacements and think of how to support young people. We are still battling with maternal mortality. We are still battling with deaths from malaria. So very little or scant attention is being paid to all these things. We have big conferences that are held every year. There's a lot of white paper generated, but implementation is zilch. In those days, we even used to have health inspectors. Where are they today? So many things that were guardrails to prevent children falling through the cracks are gone. And people are just breeding children regardless of, and are not looking into the emotional and mental supports required to actually be a parent. Parenting is not, I pay school fees and I wear you clothes and you have house to live in and I feed you. Parenting goes beyond that. But who is even telling the potential parents or the parents that that is what is required? So we have people who are having children and don't even know what it means to even be a parent. So the foundation is already faulty. And then it is so very easy for the children. I met a young man, he was 14 years ago, who said that the parents are not listening to them. It's one-way communication. They are talking at them and not talking to them. So we have pseudo-family settings that are unfortunately negative. So we have children now who now join cult groups, who now join all sorts of societies, who do all sorts of things, you understand, just to feel among, just to have some form of leadership. And unfortunately, why do we have an incel epidemic now in the world? Why is it so easy for young men to be indoctrinated? Because there are no mentors. So you have a situation where a young man sits down, opens his computer, and he joins millions of people worldwide who promote misogyny, who promote violence, who promote all sorts of things, and he thinks it's okay.
Well, thank you very much, Prof. Let's bring in Madam Betty now. Now, let's consider now, look at the issue of prevention and rehabilitation. So how do we balance punishment, deterrence, and rehabilitation so that we just don't create older, more hardened criminals?
Briefly.
Hello, okay. I think again that this involves a multi-stakeholder approach where we deliberately involve children. Like Prof talked about the need for us to be more embracive of young people. Many young people right now feel that parents are talking at them, not talking with them or through them. That involves a deliberate policy, a deliberate program of engaging children at various levels, at various ages, at various communities, in various settings, creating awareness about crime prevention. I always talk about my childhood growing up in Tupo in Benue State and the role that the church plays in my life. Some of the lessons were taught, religious lessons, remain values that I carry with myself everywhere I go around the world. I don't take alcohol, don't do this, don't steal. And those things remain with children. They are ingrained in them. So we have to deliberately not talk at children, not hand down rules, but engage them, tell them why this is important, show them good examples, good role models, and the implications of the behaviors that they imbibe in the long run. This is what you do when you go into reckless sexual behavior. This is what you end up becoming when you get into alcohol. This is the negative impact of overexposure to the internet. People go into pornography, to crimes, misogyny, like Prof mentioned, all kinds of negative behavior. So we have to ensure that as early as possible, we have to deliberately engage children on good behaviors, on behaviors that are acceptable in the society. And like I said, that involves engaging partnership at various levels, at government levels, schools, NGOs, experts in child psychology, youth mentors, youth coaches. We have to be deliberate about this. That's why in a place like the USA, summer camps for children are extremely, even the UK, summer camps for children are extremely important. That's how they imbibe those ideals, those values of nationhood. That's why an American is ready to go all the lengths in favor of their country, to make their country proud. Those values are imbibed in them right from when they are pre-teens. They go to these youth camps and they tell them this is what America stands. America is the world superpower. You have to make your country proud. And then they, as early as possible, they even give them like sex education. They give them all kinds of things. That's how you make a nation safe. That's how you guide against extremism. That's how you guide against negative influences from as young as possible. Once they have these values ingrained in them and they hold tight to them as children, even as adults, it's not easy for them to deviate and embrace other things. Like in the north and other parts of the country, for instance, we're seeing the very, very viral negative influence of extremism, where people are ready to kill for 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, because they do not have the fundamental values of goodness right from where they are growing up. And so it's easy for external influences to infiltrate their lives and then make them to become nuisances to the society. So there's like keep talking about sensitization, engaging children, multi-stakeholder approach at every level, at every setting. We have to break it down, not big grammar, break it down. Life is very, very It's like garbage in, garbage out, very predictable. These are the things you get when you indulge in this, when you deviate from your education, and there is need for you to become a societal asset. So we break this down to these children and then make them aware of their basic child's rights, so they can also stand against child sexual abuse, all kinds of predatory behavior from others around them. You see some children in schools, when they are being beaten.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Betty Abba. I'm afraid because we don't have a lot of time left, we just have to interject there. Now, let me get back to the studio with Dr. Francis Enobore to get your closing remarks. And I'm asking, what would you say should change immediately? Should it be policy, mindset, or even structures?
For me, I think we have enough policies. The gap is in implementation. And I want to also add that we should practice what we preach, either as a parent, a mentor, a teacher, or whatever we choose to be. Because we shouldn't be too concerned about the fact that we talk to our children, they don't listen to us. But we should be more worried that they are watching us.
Okay. They are watching us. Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Now let's take the parting shot from Prof. Prof. Is now as we move as the way forward now, what do you think all of us as Nigerians should start doing to reduce the pipeline from delinquency to national insecurity?
In a minute, please, if possible.
We need to tell ourselves the truth as a society. Parents, you are the book your children read. If you are not observant, both fathers and mothers, all hands have to be on deck within the family. We need to understand that we are the books our children read, and it is not do as I say, but as I do. You know, in the Bible, it says, train a child in the way he should go, and he will not depart from it. Government also needs to protect its most vulnerable groups, which is the elderly, women, and children. By age 7, a child's personality basically has been formed to a large extent. Anything you are doing on top of that is being formed. Are we looking at our nursery and primary systems and looking for how to reinforce things like self-esteem, things like self-confidence, things like patriotism, things like being our brother's keeper? Are we ensuring that the curriculum and implementation of that is properly done? Are we also ensuring that at that stage too, children are not being exposed to violence or drugs or crime, even at the lower economic level? We need a lot of grassroots advocacy. The things I see when I go for grassroots advocacy will give some people nightmares, because you have children running wild on the streets and nobody seems to care for them. So we have a large population of homeless children. Where are their parents? People need.
Prof, I'm afraid we'll have to go because we have no time left. But let me appreciate you, Professor Ehiz or DJ Okpataku, a behavioral change and regimental effectiveness consultant who's joined us via Zoom. We appreciate your time and your thoughts on Good Morning Nigeria. Let me also thank Betty Abba, founder of the See Hope Nigeria Women and Children's Rights Advocate. Thank you very much for joining us. I guess this is a conversation we will have to revisit because there's a lot more to talk about, but we thank you for joining us. Let me also thank here in the studio Dr. Francis, brand new doctor, Francis Enobore, MNI, Controller of Corrections, retired and former National Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Many thanks for coming on Good Morning Nigeria and for your perspectives. We appreciate.
Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure.
All right, and that does it for us on Good Morning Nigeria for today. Tomorrow is another day. Let's keep the dates, and I'll be here to spend the time with you. I'm Victor, as we'll see you again.
And I'm Adimola. Do have a lovely day.
social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Nigeria is a country of many cultures, languages, and beliefs. But despite our differences, there is one thing that unites us all: our love for this great nation. Sometimes we may feel that we need to go fast and go alone, but when we come together and work as a team, we can go far beyond what we ever thought was possible. United, we can create thriving businesses that benefit our communities and in turn our nation. It is said that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let's understand our differences and come together to build a better Nigeria.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello and welcome to Conversation Podcast on NTM, a program where ideas meet reality and, of course, conversations shape perspective. My name is Liz.
And I am Ehikowoicho. Today we are diving into something that's actually shaping our lives, even if you don't know it yet. We are talking about artificial intelligence, AI.
Yes. We call it AI. Incidentally, a lot of us do not even know the real name anymore. And whether or not we like it or we admit it, it's actually permeating all aspects of our living. And it leaves me with a question on the tip of my lips, asking, is it the greatest blessing to humanity, or is it a ticking, tick, tick, tock, tock, time bomb?
Time bomb. Well, I also want to know, is it helping us grow? Or is it slowly replacing us? And it's scary, Ko.
It is scary.
I feel you.
It is scary, yes. And AI, a blessing or a curse? We intend to find out today. I need to know, seriously, and I know that you need to know, particularly, how do we embrace it? How do we make AI, begin to do the jobs we think it should be doing? That is serving us. And we have somebody in the house, but just before we bring her in, she's still rubbing her pancake anyway. Let's get to find out, who is AI? What is AI?
You would understand it.
It was the speed that took us by surprise. Scientists had predicted its arrival for someday, yet its emergence occurred with startling, unexpected swiftness. In schools, homes, malls, and cafes, everyday conversations began shifting.
It was the day before school was about to resume, and I was so hectic. I was so panicked. I was jumping all around the house looking for solutions. And my sister saw me panicking, and she was like, "Why am I panicking?" And I was like, "I haven't done my homework, and school is resuming tomorrow." And she was like, "You could just use ChatGPT." And I was very shocked because I never knew something like that existed, nor would I have ever thought something like that would ever exist.
Teenagers joked about AI writing their essays in seconds. Seniors discovered that doctors now use AI to interpret scans faster than any human could read them. And millions of people, from gig workers to small business owners, found themselves using AI tools they never intentionally sought out. Tools that simply appeared in apps they already had.
AI tools have exploded across the internet like popcorn in a microwave. 1 minute it's quiet, the next minute pop, pop, pop. They are everywhere. You've got AI for cooking, AI for dating, AI for budgeting, even AI that claims it can fix your mood.
The sense of AI is coming someday. Quietly transformed into AI is here now, and the world had to catch up emotionally long before it caught up intellectually. In 2025, phones stopped being passive tools and became proactive companions. You open the camera and it automatically enhances the lighting before you even think to adjust it. You start typing a text and the AI finishes your thought with eerie accuracy.
AI has been in existence way back 1950s, but the breakthrough and the application of it to human needs become obvious and apparent. And as such, everybody starts to embrace it because it solves their problems or it makes their work easier.
Grocery apps tell you what meals you can cook based on what's already in your fridge. Route planners warn you about accidents before they happen. And voice assistants no longer feel like clunky robots trying their best. They sound knowledgeable, like calm friends who just happen to live inside a tiny speaker.
Alexa, set a timer to wake us up in 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now. Silence really is golden.
For most people, that is where the AI breakthrough truly hits, not in a lab, but in the quiet moments between breakfast and bedtime. In just a year, apps that once needed step-by-step instructions have become anticipatory, almost intuitive. Budgeting apps sense overspending before it happens. Health apps detect stress through the tremor of your voice. Translation apps convert speech in real time with nearly perfect accuracy. And cameras not only recognize faces, but interpret emotions, often with surprising insight. What is remarkable is not that these apps exist. Many households now rely on AI systems to track schedules for the entire family, from soccer practices to medical appointments. For the first time, digital assistance feels genuinely supportive, almost human in its helpfulness.
Alexa, please can you bring in Jingles by Joy to the studio?
Now you call Alexa now.
Alexa now?
Now maybe Alexa.
Yes, Alexa. You go do like this. Your glass is not AI.
The AI don't fail you.
Do like this.
Okay.
Joy is ready. Welcome, welcome. Now we are wondering, have you fully embraced AI? I know they say with this Alexa. Have you fully embraced AI?
No, I haven't.
Why?
I'm being honest. I'm old school. What I'm doing, I think I'm just trying to do it. I'm just trying to be techie, you know. But AI makes me laugh a lot.
What?
Yeah, because
that's strange.
Yeah, AI makes me.
I see people say I'm scared, but this is the first one I'm hearing. I laugh.
Why does it make you laugh?
Because AI, there are some Christian songs that they have put into. AI. And you know, so when the little girls are dancing and all that, and they're singing, and I'm just sitting down there and just having a good laugh. But if I tell you that I'm not scared about AI, I'm lying, because I see some people's pictures telling them they're 20 years younger, not making you know reality. So AI is taking us, some people say it's taking us forward, but I think for our children and for our doctors and for designers, I think we're getting into trouble. Take it or leave it.
I think that one of the problems amongst people is because they do not really see what AI is.
Okay.
You know, because a lot of times some people will tell you, I don't use AI.
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with AI. And I'm like, okay, in your house you have a microwave that you press to, you know, get things done instead of turning a button.
That's if you have a microwave, because I discourage microwave.
No, not you. I'm talking about a lot of people.
Right, okay.
You have some people have a wristwatch, and it has a lot of activities.
Your gadgets.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah, true.
That's AI. But AI can be expressed. You talked about the babies.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people see as AI. But then at the end of the day, you're using a voice note in your phone. When you just said, Alexa, introduce Joy.
Yeah.
I don't know why you call me Alexa, though, but that's okay. But you can actually tell your phone, please help me dial this.
Yes.
Yes,
it's like a messenger in your phone, and it's doing the job.
It makes it easier. You see, normally people have a problem taking pictures because there are some people who take pictures of you and you start looking and saying, is that actually you? So guess what? If I use my hand,
that's AI.
That is AI.
And I get my pictures taken.
You are even going towards, you're going too far when you say you wave.
Yeah.
You can't actually position your camera on your stand or maybe ring light, whatever it is.
You don't need anybody.
The table or whatever it is. Then all you need to do is say, Alexa, take a picture.
Take a picture.
And it takes a picture.
Yeah.
You know?
All we are saying is that all you just said is AI is actually good if you embrace it.
Yes. But I noticed that the younger generation, you know, tend to love to use it more.
They are over-dependent on it.
They are over-dependent on it. The one that particularly irks me, I think the girl mentioned it there, is the ChatGPT.
The ChatGPT, it's something else.
Sometimes
people no longer think for themselves.
No. Sometimes I'm like, whoever introduced this thing? Yeah. Because back in the day, I would write my essay. I knew what I was writing. I am judged by my brain because my brain is what is pouring out.
And you're reading books.
And you're reading books and improving yourself. Yeah. Now, somebody writes a beautiful essay, a beautiful textbook, and then the person that comes out, you flip through his textbook, go to chapter 10, and say, did you know that ABCD happened? He said, really? But that's the person that wrote it.
The person doesn't know.
Because they just went to ChatGPT and AI too and just downloaded all that.
Downloaded what was there.
Okay, have you tried getting to AI, to the same ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT to check you up and tell you about yourself?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Have you tried it? What did he say?
Hey.
What did he say about you?
Now that you're saying
my sister.
It insulted you, finish, ba?
Yes, it did. It did. It did. But guess what? It was reality.
Yeah.
It was reality. You know, most of the time, you really don't want to hear about yourself. You really don't want to, we just live in denial. But guess what it did? It just told me who I was, told me certain things that I think I pretend not to know. And guess what? When I finished, I said I would never try it again.
Why?
And you know why it has all those information?
Yeah.
Your phone is listening.
Yes.
Your laptop is listening.
Everything it's doing.
It's seeing all the sites you go to.
Everything
so it's studying you.
Yes.
Apart from that, your phone, you use them for your browsing.
Yeah.
You use them for your, search and all of that. The algorithm of the phone is configured in such a way that it mimics you.
Yes,
it completely tells who you are in your absence. So, and ChatGPT, once you ask that question, it's going to go to all those buttons you opened, grab them all together and get those things and tell you who you are.
Yeah.
And the ones you're more dependent on, because if you're the fashion type, it tells you don't know anything else except fashion.
That's what he told me.
So if you like to ask to cook, he actually told a lady I know, why don't you take up a cooking school instead of disturbing me every time? Asking me, ChatGPT, give me recipe for this. ChatGPT, why don't you go to a cooking school? So those are the things. When people tell me, I don't like AI, I don't use it. And in
they
your
don't
phone,
understand it.
Somebody told me that once. I said, give me your phone. I went to ChatGPT and typed.
Yeah.
Tell me about myself. Of course, it's the person's phone.
So
it came up, what she saw was mind-blowing. I said, this is what you do with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, your ChatGPT is telling you about it. And it's also an eye-opener for parents. If you don't understand your children and they are telling you lies, please don't bother. Tell them to give you the phone that you want to check something on Google. Just go to ChatGPT and type, tell me about myself. Don't call your name, it's your child's name. Once you say that, ChatGPT is going to tell you all that your child has been doing with the phone. It's an expo. So AI actually does help us do good parenting.
It does.
Because when you get that, it's not for you to condemn your children or condemn your spouse or condemn your whatever. It's for you to be able to help them to be better person. Because if they get to change, the algorithm there would also wipe. And then, assuming maybe, this one is not very good, but should I still say it? I think I should.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are constantly wiping your cache file, your browser history, wipe the Google, even go to the Chrome and delete your history. ChatGPT will not be able to tell on you. I can assure you. Because once you ask that question, he's going to go to that place and bring out who you are.
True.
So because I tried asking the question when I didn't delete. And he gave, I don't know whether ChatGPT is a male or female, but he gave me something.
You can configure the voice actually.
Then when I did a bit of work, I went back to the place, I checked. He gave me just about what I had done the past few days that I asked.
Can I chip in?
Go ahead.
The best thing that's happened to me, I'm not a tech person, but is my map.
Google Map.
My Google Map. My Google Map. And what I tried to do, the first time I heard the Nigerian voice, I choked. I chuckled because it was horrible. So I had to go back to the other. And you know what's quite interesting is those people there pronouncing your names. Mama Kantungura, this and that. And, you know, it's quite interesting. If there is nothing that have appreciated and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for, is the Google Map.
Google is your friend.
Google is my friend. Only that sometimes Google can take you somewhere else, routing you somewhere else. But I wouldn't lie to you, I have sat down and wondered, if there was no Google Map, I don't think I will be calling, because everywhere you don't see Okadas. You understand? You know, there are some certain places you go to, and they tell you that, you know, just get an Okada man to take you to where you're going. But guess what? My Google Map is one of the biggest advantage. And I thank God for Google Map.
All right, beyond the Google Map, I know that we also use AI in our hospitals. We use it in accounting. And we have a guest who will be joining us not too long from now. He'll probably speak on the accuracy of those ones, because I know when I go to certain places to check, even if it's, I am a Canva lover, so I use a lot of Canva, you know, with my designs. You always tell you that it's not 100% proof. It's not 100% correct with information. So you should always, you know, look before you leap. It puts that disclaimer. Even the map you're talking about, it puts that disclaimer too. That it's not 100%.
It's not 100%.
You know, so
and at the end, it also asks you if it was accurate, so that you
help them make it more accurate. So okay. So I also think that we should, you know, learn. How can we learn to bring in more the benefits of AI to the older people, the older generation? My reason is this. We kill ourselves for nothing. You know, we kill ourselves for nothing. You want to cook. There are a lot of recipes, and I'm telling you, not just English recipe, Nigerian recipe, okazi soup, egusi soup. I have checked. They are all there.
Okoho soup is there.
What's that?
You don't know Okoho soup?
That's
What's
the soup.
Okoho
You don't know that
The
soup
one
that you
that
have to
draws
use razor to
knife to cut.
what?
to cut it.
cut
If you
the
don't use
soup.
scissors, it's not cut.
It won't cut.
What do you call it, Okoho?
It's Okoho. That's the name of the soup.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They eat it. We eat it as well.
How do you
Ask AI.
Ask
We have to ask AI. We have to ask AI.
And you'll see it there. Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying, I wonder how you know, we can get people to begin to embrace the use of AI. But before we even get there, let's see how many Nigerians are willing to have AI impact on their businesses or their work life. Are you ready? The Vox Pop.
Been using it, you know, for long in my office. We used to even to do some research, legal research. We use them to, you know, ask ourselves some questions, some posers. AI will reply to us. It has very useful to us. We appreciate what they're doing.
Yes, I mean, because it makes things easier. It makes things easier. It's very simple. Like, I really enjoy AI, seriously. I like it a lot.
Yes, I'll actually do that because it actually makes work easy. And I actually remember when I was in school, I actually used it to write my exam. And it was actually AI that gave me my project copy, and it was actually very perfect. Wow, so for me, I'll actually do that.
Yes, please, with every acceptance, because it's going to make the job easy, it's going to make it swift, and it's going to make it faster. I think AI, it has come to stay. It's going to make people's job more easier and not strain us like in the olden days and like in the Stone Age. It's faster and it's reliable.
To me, AI is a machine that will enhance our work. Over-reliance on it is what I don't like. As a journalist, I use it, but I don't depend on it fully. You know, whenever I use AI to do my work, it makes it faster, it enhances your efficiency. At the same time, don't suspend your brain because you want to use AI. That's just what I usually advocate. But you can't just say because people if people depend on it too much, you don't want to use it, then you